Hi guys, so I'm currently just editing the both LEGO Harry Potter and LEGO Star Wars retirement list videos for 2025, and I'll probably put this message on before both of them. It's just to let you know that I reference in those videos the idea of investment quite heavily over the course of both videos, and I do need to make the disclaimer, of course, that not everything I say will necessarily come through to fruition. This is just years of me buying and selling LEGO and other collectibles and what I think will happen with the market over the next couple of years. That being said, a lot of these investments will take a year or two at least to pay off in some way or another. Please be financially responsible. Please be mindful with your money. Please do some other research as well. Do your own due diligence on what you think will buy, what you think will sort of appreciate in value over the course of time. And please just don't take my word as the final word on what will appreciate in value. With that said, thank you for watching. Do drop a like on the video. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Hello, and welcome back to another video here in the LEGO Room. I hope you are well. Today is a video that I call retirement planning, and that is, don't worry, I'm not retiring. I will still continue to make videos, but of course, we're going to have a little look today at the LEGO Star Wars sets that are retiring at the very end of 2025. Do drop a like on this video before we get into it. It'll be sincerely appreciated and does help us out. If you're new, of course, please do, as the signs say, please consider subscribing. If you're a LEGO Star Wars fan, there is always LEGO Star Wars stuff going on in this room on a weekly basis, and of course over on our Whatnot streams as well. Let's dive right into it because we've got a lot to get through today, and I'm going to start with the biggest set that will be retiring for LEGO Star Wars at the end of 2025, or indeed until stocks last. And that is, of course, set number 75331, which is the UCS Razor Crest. This is a set that I have procrastinated on buying for a number of years now, and that is purely because of the £520 price tag here in the UK. I am hopeful that there will be another sale on this set just before it does retire, either with the LEGO group or with one of the second party groups here in the UK. £520, it's an astronomical $600 US and $900 in Australian, and this is a great set. It's got some fantastic figs in. It's one that I am looking to pick up, not necessarily from an investment purpose, but certainly to grab and have here in the LEGO room. It is about time that I grabbed it, and maybe we'll end up giving one away if we can find them at a good price, at least later in the year over on Whatnot. The next setup is the other UCS set that is being retired this year. Set number 75355 is the UCS X-Wing, and this is £210 here in the UK. It's $240 US. This set, of course, has the minifigure Luke Skywalker, the UCS version of Luke Skywalker in there as well. It's one that I keep sort of procrastinating on grabbing. It's not one I'm crazy about grabbing. We got the Playscale version a couple of years ago, and that kind of sufficed for me. It's one that I will look to grab, though, should it hit that 40-50% off mark just before the festive period. The next setup is one I already have, which is, of course, the set number 75354, which is the Coruscant Guard gunship. This is potentially one to pick up if you are an investor, if you see it with a little bit of money off just before the Black Friday or festive period. You're, of course, getting Commander Fox in there. Not everybody's crazy about the way that torso and the way that Commander Fox looks. It kind of isn't accurate. I do understand and appreciate that. However, I do see the prices of Phase 1 and Phase 2 Commanders on a daily and weekly basis and whatnot. I know that these figures are going to go up in price along with that Padme and Palpatine as well. The Palpatine and Padme look fantastic in this set. It's one of my absolute plus points when I reviewed this set at the very end of 2023. One to potentially pick up, one I'll certainly be looking to pick up if I can find it more around the £100 mark than the £130 RRP price. The next setup is my favourite set on the list, and it's one you can kind of just see behind me just there, which is, of course, the Ghost and Phantom 2. Love Rebels, love Ahsoka. It was my favourite set of 2023. It took the top spot. I don't even know if that video is still available on the channel. Hopefully it is. A fantastic set, one of the very best that they've made over the last couple of years. Some great figures in there. £160 is the RRP price here in the UK. It's one that you could potentially look to invest in. I always look at whether or not this set could potentially go up in value and what the likelihood of that is. And of course, if you go back to the 2014 version of the Ghost, that has skyrocketed in price despite the fact of inflation. Of course, over the last 10 years, it's still something that has skyrocketed in price. It will certainly not lose any value. I imagine that on the resale market within a year or so, it'll be pushing the £200 price rather than 160. The next setup is a really good investment piece in my mind, purely because of its original RRP price versus the sale price I've seen it at numerous times over the last 12 months. I'm of course talking about Ahsoka's T6 Jedi Shuttle, which is set number 75362. 4 minifigures in this. You're of course getting Maruk along with Professor Huyang, Ahsoka and Sabine. I've seen those figures alone go for almost the price of the ship when we have sold them on Whatnot, and this set is a very, very good set. It's a set that, and I'm trying to see if I can find it in the room around me, it's a set that could do with the underside of the ship being in a sort of better condition. It should be kind of the same as the top side of the ship, is a minor gripe that I have with the set. However, at a £65 price tag, I've seen it as low as £50, and at £50, if I see it before the end of 2025, around the Black Friday period or indeed the festive period, it is one that I will absolutely be picking up for investment purposes moving forward. Next setup is set number 75373, and this is of course the Ambush on Mandalore battle pack, and this is an underrated battle pack in my opinion, and one that I've seen not only at the original £20 price tag but go down as low as $12.99 not that long ago on Amazon, and it is one that I'll be looking to grab, particularly as somebody who sells minifigures over on Whatnot. It is a no-brainer to be picking up some of these before they retire. They're only going to become more expensive after they do retire. It's kind of an easy thing for me to say to invest in. Of course, all of these decisions, when I talk about them from a financial perspective or indeed from investing, is all based on your own financial dependency and just what you can afford to do. So I will always say where you are able, or if you are able, it is something that I potentially recommend. The next setup is set number 75374, which is of course the Onyx Cinder, the only Skeleton Crew set that we have out on the market. £125 RRP. It's been as low as about £90 with retailers here in the UK and with Amazon. It is one that I would look to pick up if you are an investor. If you don't have the ship, I actually think it's a fantastic ship. It is one that we were of course gifted before Christmas by a viewer of the channel, and one that we ended up giving away a second version of when we started on Whatnot. Is a fantastic sort of ship with 5 minifigures that you may well not see ever again. I do recommend grabbing this, particularly if you see it on sale. It's definitely one to pick up if you don't already have it. Couple of mid-scale ships next, starting with the Tantive 4, which is of course set number 75376, £70 RRP. I think this is a fair ship. I have of course collected all of the mid-scale ships that we've got over the last couple of years. If you are collecting those, it is the time to grab that. They are regularly available on sale with Amazon and with a couple of other retailers as well. Potentially one to grab. The Invisible Hand, however, is another one that is retiring, set number 75377. Definitely one to grab. It is one of my favourites out of the bunch. I really like it. It is the cheapest, of course, until we got the newer the Acclimator earlier this year. So it is definitely one to pick up at only £45. And of course, if you see it any cheaper than that, if you see it in the £30 plus mark, that is definitely something to grab a hold of, and definitely in terms of resale value as well, because we just don't have an Invisible Hand. We have never had a play scale UCS any version of Invisible Hand, no diorama on the Invisible Hand. It is the only Invisible Hand set that we have ever had, so it's definitely one to look at from an investment perspective. The next setup is number 75378, which is of course Grogu's Bark Speeder Escape, £25 RRP. I've seen it for £15. If you don't have it, I think this makes a really good Christmas gift, particularly for younger fans. You're of course getting Grogu in there along with a couple of clones as well. What's not to like? You've of course got that exclusive Kelleran Beck figure as well. That will only go up in price as well. It's definitely one to grab. It's definitely a potentially really good gift idea, regardless of what kind of price bracket you get it in for. I think that is definitely one to pick up. Whether it's an investment piece for further down the line, not entirely sure, probably because of the Kelleran Beck figure, but yeah, certainly one to grab a hold of if you don't already have it. The next setup, 75380, the Mos Espa Pod Race diorama. Dioramas always tend to appreciate in value, so from an investment perspective, it's possibly one to get a hold of. I do recommend, however, that you try and get it at a sale price. There is a lot of sort of criticism of that set that it is sort of overpriced at its original RRP price, which of course about £70 here in the UK. So if you can pick it up cheaper, and I have seen it for the £50 mark, that is potentially something to grab. These sets generally, the diorama sets, you don't ever tend to see them not appreciate in value. It might be worth considering with this set. However, it's probably not the best received of all of the dioramas, but it's certainly one if you can find cheap enough to get hold of. I really like mine, and it takes pride of place next to the Trench Run diorama. Very cool looking, and yeah, I really like it. The next setup is one of the best sets of 2024. It's, of course, the buildable Droideka, set number 75381, £60 here in the UK, regularly on sale for £48 to £45. One of the best sets of 2024. It finally sort of, as I've said in numerous videos where I've talked about potential buildable droids for the future, the blend of Technic and Brick in that set, they really sort of clicked onto something with that. And in comparison to the early 2000s versions of the Droideka, that old Technic set that looked a bit clunky, really good. I think they really hit the nail on the head with it. I think it's a fantastic set. It's one to invest in. It's one potentially to get as a gift for somebody near the festive period. It's one of the very best sets that we've seen over the last couple of years for Lego Star Wars, that's for sure. Set number 75383 is Darth Maul Sith Infiltrator, and I don't know if you'll be able to see behind me there the Redbeard Qui-Gon. This is, of course, the chaser in this set, which, of course, if you had a set that was made in the first sort of 4 waves of production within that first month, there's a chance, of course, that you've got the Redbeard version of Qui-Gon, which is, of course, skyrocketed in price and is worth well over at least £200, £250 at the point of recording this video. So that is something to be aware of. Everyone has, of course, over the last few months gone out and tried to find those sets. I see them regularly sort of in piles in Smith's toy store or in different sort of toy stores. People have obviously gone looking to see if they can find one of those original Sith Infiltrator sets with the Redbeard Qui-Gon variant in there. For that reason alone, I can see this being a set that is popular. I think people will think that they can get a hold of this Redbeard version. I think a lot of kids will be asking for this from parents because they believe that they can get the Redbeard version of Qui-Gon. I think it's important to sort of note that you're probably not going to get that version. I think I was very fortunate myself that when I first bought this set, which is of course on May the 1st, all the way back in 2024, we were very lucky to get one of the very original versions, and I will of course be keeping my Qui-Gon in that little mock that I've created, the dual for Anakin there, and you can see that video on the channel if you're a fan of Lego Star Wars mocks. We've got quite a few that we've done already this year. Set number 75384 is the most overpriced set on the list, and isn't that just a statement for you? £47 here in the UK for the Crimson Firehawk. Only 100 or so pieces in that set, and that's of course because it is a 4+ set. On a really deep discount for a child at Christmas, it might be worth picking up. That Nubs figure's kind of the chaser in there. Everybody loves that Nubs figure, but you'd really need to be at least 50% or more for this to be something that you pick up. Never mind investing. I certainly will be steering clear of this from an investment perspective. Set number 75385 is Ahsoka Tano's Duel on Peridea, and this is a set I just can't find anymore. It's not on Amazon for a reasonable price. It's not being distributed by Amazon. It's not in my local Smith's toy store. There's a lot of places where I can't seem to find this. I can't remember the last time I saw this physically in hand anywhere, so it may be a case of it is already starting to run its course, and we may not see it back on shelves again. This would be a set that I would say to grab a hold of if you can find it for its original retail price, or indeed on sale as well. You're getting Thrawn in there, you're getting a variant version of Ezra Bridger of the white Ahsoka Tano, or Ahsoka the White. A lot of cool minifigures in there. Let's be honest, that's all that there is in there, is just minifigures on a base plate. There's a little bit more to it than that, but if you're paying the £50, that's kind of what you're going to feel like you're getting. I would recommend grabbing this purely because of the inflation of prices of minifigures, and particularly the price of the original Thrawn and how that skyrocketed. So if you don't have it, potentially try and grab it, and if you can see it on sale before the festive period, absolutely go out and sit on this set. Number 75386 is the battle between Paz Vizsla and Moff Gideon, and this is £35. It of course links up with the battle pack that I was speaking about before, the Mandalorian battle pack. You can actually hook these two sets up. We actually did a huge version on the chair just behind me in the shelf. I'll hopefully try and get some shots of that. It is a very, very nice set. It's some fantastic minifigures in there with the Gideon and the Vizsla. It's one that I would recommend grabbing if you don't already have. From an investment purpose as well, it could be one to sit on just for those minifigures. You're not getting much more than the minifigures and of course the build in there, but it is something to consider potentially grabbing if you don't have already. Set number 75387 is boarding the Tantive 4. This is a set that is regularly on sale around the £40 mark instead of the original £50 RRP. Go out and grab this set as an investment piece would be my absolute advice. I already have one that I'm sitting on for investment, and I will probably go out and get a couple more. It has the Anniversary Fives figure in there. No matter what you think about how that Fives figure looks or should have looked, it will appreciate in value. Those stands will appreciate in value. The fact that you get 7 minifigures, let me do the maths on that, 7 minifigures in this set for a set you can regularly get for £40, very, very good. I can only see this set going up in value. You can just see it just there as well, which is of course my expanded version, which is another mock you can see on the channel. My advice is to grab this where you can. I do think it'll appreciate in value no matter what you think of the Fives figure, no matter what you think of the set. That amount of figures for a £40 kind of price tag, I know it's £50, but for £40, very, very good. Luke Skywalker's X-Wing mech is also retiring, set number 75390. It's a mech. Make your decision on whether or not you want to grab this. If you see it on sale, it could make a good Christmas gift for a younger fan or indeed just a casual fan. Not one that I'll be picking up for resale purposes, that's for sure. Next setup is one of the most controversial. It's set number 75392, which is the Creative Buildable droid play set, which is a set that I just didn't like the look of last year. It of course has the Young Anniversary Leia minifigure, and I'm yet to find that minifigure at a reasonable price. I may well have to pay an extortionate price to add that minifigure to the 25th anniversary collection. It is the only figure that I'm missing from last year's anniversary lineup, and it is one I'll have to consider whether or not I have to buy the set indeed to grab it. The set itself at £90, which feels a bit crazy, has been on sale for about £66 here in the UK with various different retailers. Again, for me, it is all about just getting that Anniversary Leia figure. For a younger fan, I actually don't think it's a bad set. You're going to get 4 droids, you get a lot of little sort of accessories to sort of play with as well. So for a young fan, if you see this on deep discount at the sort of 50% off market, it could be a really good gift for a young fan over the festive period, because I can't see this set staying at that price. I think a lot of retailers are holding out on not deep discounting it, and I think eventually they'll have to clear room on shelves, and I can see this eventually being less than the £66 sale price that we've seen with various retailers. That's just my opinion. We will see whether or not that happens. The next setup is set number 75393, which is the X-Wing and TIE Fighter mashup set from Rebuild the Galaxy. 5 very good figs in here, 5 figs that you might not see again. I know that we've got SIG coming in the new set in August, or a variant version of SIG, but these are generally figures that you won't see ever again, of course, with that sort of first series of Rebuild the Galaxy. Again, this is a set that I've seen for about the £66 mark instead of £95. One to potentially pick up. If you've already got an X-Wing and a TIE Fighter, it's not one that you need to grab a hold of, and it's not necessarily one I would look to buy as an investment piece as well. Just a couple of sets left to go. I know you're all hanging in there with me, but set number 75396 is the Desert Skiff and Sarlacc Pit. Again, on sale regularly. It should be £70. We've seen it for £50. It might well go under the £50 mark towards the end of the year, and with that Anniversary 9 nub figure in there, it's definitely definitely one as a potential investment piece. It's also the best version of the skiff and pit that we've seen, in my opinion, and I am, to the sort of left of camera, very conscious of the fact that we've got a skiff that I'm sort of trying to mock build at the moment to try and create a bigger, more enclosed version of the Sarlacc pit. As a set, want to potentially pick up on, I think within a couple of years, that 9-number figure could be worth that £40–50 mark on its own, never mind the other figures that you get in that set. Another anniversary set, 40755, is the Imperial Dropship versus Rebel Scout Speeder, of course throwing it back all the way to 2007 with those original battle packs, and you of course get the QTKT pink droid astromech figure in there as well. Again, want to pick up, definitely if you see it on discount, I would pick it up. At £35, kind of up to you whether or not you pick that up as an investment piece. It's just how much you think that that droid will inflate in price. I would suggest between now and the next however many years, it is potentially one to pick up on. I probably won't get another copy of this set. I had one, I got one on October the 3rd last year maybe, and yeah, it's a nice enough set. It was very nostalgic for me personally, having had those original 2007 battle pack sets, but not one I feel the need to go out and invest in. The final set on the list is the only set that comes out and retires every single year, and that is of course the Lego Star Wars Advent Calendar. And this year, of course, it is a droid version of an Advent Calendar, and of course I think you get Babu Frick in there as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's an interesting version. I like the fact they're doing something different. It's not necessarily going to be my favourite Advent Calendar of all time. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Definitely something you can see sort of being unboxed over the course of the festive period here on the channel. But it's something different, and I like the look of it. Again, this will come out on September the 1st, which is usually why I always forget it in the summer retirement list video. But again, it will just be until stock's lasted, which might well be into January. But of course, it might be long before Christmas Day as well. So there you have it. Every single Lego Star Wars set is retiring at the end of 2025 as things stand. And just like last year, if things change, if we have an amendment here or amendment there, I will of course make a video about it just to stay accountable to this original video, which is of course giving you the correct information. As things stand, those are all of the sets that are retiring. Are there any of these sets that you are going to go out and grab yourself? Is there any that you're going to sit on for investment purposes? Is there any that you need to grab because you've just been putting it off for so long, like myself with that Razor Crest? If you are, do let me know in the comments below, and drop a like on the video while you are there. It's sincerely appreciated. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I know it's been a long one. It kind of always is with these retirement videos, but thank you for watching. Stay tuned because tomorrow we've got a Lego Harry Potter retirement video as well, and of course we'll have a ton of Lego Star Wars stuff coming up in this space, including a buyer's guide for all the August 1st set. If you're a Lego Star Wars fan, stay tuned. You got a lot to look forward to over the next couple of months. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the very next video. Bye.